Hello, welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Hey, Sissy Asia, how you doing today? Hope you're well. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is going to be something that we're going to have to talk more about, uh, just because it's a more, well, I don't know. I guess there's been other generations of Pickmes, but now our generation have to deal with our own. We have to deal with our own version, of the Pickmes. And I never really, if you can look back on the channel, I really don't go in on pick me's that much. I really don't spend a lot of time dealing with pick me's, just for the simple fact of I'm providing information for women who are interested in getting out of pick meism, who are interested in being self-preserving. So I've always catered my information to those women. I used to see pick me's as harmless, self-destructive people who were just kind of destroying themselves. So, I mean, listen, if you want to destroy yourself, you want to waste your time, you will be able to do that, because this is a place of free will. However, the pick-me's they're branching out their self-destruction, and they're actually coming after women who don't want to be bothered with them, or as they are the minions of struggle bandits that we already don't want. I think, really honestly, pick me is better. I define pick me's who do that as bottom bitches, because I feel that I feel that that term fits what they're doing a lot more than the pick me. The pick me is the woman who she's just desperate for male attention in and of herself. She is desperate herself. The collateral damage that can happen from being a pick me is her children can be harmed, because she oftentimes puts her children in harm's way, because she will do anything for male validation and approval. So her children oftentimes get hurt due to her pick meism, but still her pick meism is contained to her and her sphere of influence. The bottom bitch is the one who goes out and recruits women to be in the harem. When women step out of line of the harem of the pimp, she's the one who beats your ass with the pimp. She's the one who rats you out. She's the one who tells where you went. She's the one who discloses your family's information so the pimp can go and get you. She's the one who steals your money. She's the one who snitches on you. She's the one who sabotages you trying to get out of the harem. Now you would think, why does the bottom bitch do all of this? Because she's in love with the pimp. Why can't she just be, if I go, then she's going to have him to herself to enjoy. But her mission, her assignment is to have as many people in the stable or the harem as possible to please her pimp / man. So that's why she engages in the behavior that she does, because it is pleasing to him. And the more bitches that she can get on the stroll and in the stable as a bottom bitch, the more pats on the back she gets, the more pats on the head she gets, the more favored she is. That's how this works. If you listen to pimps talk about recruitment of women, how they go after broken women, women from broken homes, they want women with low self-esteem, they want women who are on drugs, they want women who are grappling with addiction, they want women who feel discarded, they want women with mental disabilities, they want women who have low cognitive skills, they want women who need to be controlled. If you listen to multiple pimp interviews, they will tell you the profile of the woman that they are seeking, that they can pimp out and have under their complete control. If you juxtapose the pimp talking about the profile of the type of, quote, female he wants in his harem, you can't tell the difference between a pimp and the average black man. You literally cannot tell the difference. They are the same. They want the same profile of woman. A woman who is of complete servitude, a woman who will turn over all of her resources to him, a woman who will go out and work for him, a woman who will go out and take a charge for him, a woman who will go out and bail him out of jail, who will hold weapons in her bag, a woman who will sacrifice her own self and her family for his enjoyment, for his pleasure. The pimp is never ever trying to build anything. The pimp squanders all of his money on flashy stuff and drugs and alcohol. It's the same as the average BM. They are the same. So that's why you have this movement. I don't know, they're not really moving nowhere, but you have this sect of people who call themselves foundational Black Americans, and the creator of this is a self-pronounced pimp. Why do you think that Black people can politically get behind someone who grew his initial wealth off of pimping culture, talking about being pimp and showing other Black men how to be a pimp? Because there's so many Black people who can relate to that terminology. They don't have a problem with it. They're not disgusted. They're not disgusted by it. So they didn't mind. It wasn't an outrage. You know, you had a minority of Black people, including myself, who never, participated with any of that. And I saw it from the gate as extremely problematic. But you have the people who really objected to that was really in the minority. The majority of people didn't have a problem with a self-proclaimed pimp leading this sitting. You have so-called prestigious scholars sitting down with a man who promoted pimping culture for years, and they didn't have any problem sitting down with him. Sorry, y'all, I'm like trying to get an email out really fast. If you have any edits. Okay, let me send this to her draft. Okay, so yeah, so that just shows you the pathology in the Black community, that you have people who call themselves elders and scholars sitting down with someone who promoted pimp culture for years. That lets you know how permeated it is within the Black community, this pimp culture. And now you have these bottom bitches who are now they're like, yeah, I'm a pick me. I'm so desirable. But this is the thing for the ladies over here. This is the thing that you need to know for sure. You need to know that they don't have any content without you. They don't have anything to talk about without you. And their only job and mission is to get you back emotionally triggered and to get you back entangled into their shenanigans. That is the only mission that they have. That's it. So it really doesn't make sense to sit up and argue with them, because they're not trying to understand you. They don't have any desire in understanding you. They don't have any desire in learning. They don't have any desire in leaving you the fuck alone. You're so problematic, and you're so loud and unruly. You're overweight. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants them. I'm just like, how do you get up in the morning and think to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm going to create some content about how don't nobody want me. Like, what is the thought process behind that? I'm going to create some content, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to tell the world that nobody wants me. I'm so undesirable. I'm limited to one group of men because I'm undesirable. Because if you say that Black women are undesirable, you're saying that you're undesirable, and that's stupid. That's very stupid. But again, you have to understand the assignment. They're not here. They know what they're here to do. They need to please. They need to please these males, and they can't please them without getting us back into the harem. That's the only way. They need to lower your self-esteem. They want to argue. It's like arguing with the wall. They're the equivalent of a dusty at this point. I don't care how many degrees they have. They're the equivalent of a dusty. Willfully ignorant. They're willfully ignorant. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they know what they're saying is bullshit. That's a possibility. It's possible that they know that what they're saying is bullshit, but what you have to understand is they don't care and they're doing it on purpose, because the purpose of the idea isn't telling the truth. The idea is disparaging you so that you can get back on the stroll for their pimp. That's it. That's the whole premise. That's everything. And there's nothing more to see here. Like, the show's over. That is what it is. That is literally the whole assignment. I've seen them on live streams sit up and beg divested Black women for 2 hours straight to please call in, please call in. They will sit up and beg. Now, why aren't any of their pick me people, why aren't those people sufficient for your content? Why aren't your pick me's, why aren't y'all entertaining enough amongst each other? Why do you sit for 2 hours begging and pleading for divested Black women to call in on your struggle channel? Why? Because they know, they don't know that they say they're so desirable and that their kings want them, but then you can't entertain your kings without us. Just like the struggle bandits, you ain't shit without us. Literally. You can't approach things from a logical standpoint, because logically, you want the kings, you got them. Less competition for you. But that's if you think things through logically. If you think things through logically, then that would be the case. They would be rejoicing that there's less competition for the kings. Why aren't they rejoicing every single time there's more kings for them? Why? Why aren't they rejoicing? They're not rejoicing because that's not the assignment. The assignment isn't to have a king to yourself and ride off into the sunset and live happily ever after. That's not the assignment. The assignment is to lure you over there so that you can emotionally engage with them. Because their devotion isn't enough. It's not satisfying the kings. They have to recruit fresh blood to keep the kings happy. They have to recruit fresh blood to keep the kings happy. And they love breaking down a strong woman. They take joy in that. They don't want the feeble-minded woman that's easy. No, they want to go after the big meat, the difficult one. Break her down, get her on the stroll. Gosh, I'll have to look up one of my friends / content creators on here. She has some really good information on that. She had a really good analogy on that when it comes to like narcissistic prey. Like, there's levels to it. You know, when you have an animal and they're out hunting, you know, they could be satisfied with a little small animal, like, you know, they could, you know, they could be satisfied with it, but sometimes when they see that big giant animal, like, that might take a lot more planning and strategy to break down, like, that's so much more satisfying. It's like mouth watering. It's like a bigger prey. And that's how a lot of times they see divestors. They see them as the bigger prey, like, ooh, it'd be way more satisfactory to get them involved. And they're willing to hurt their own image. They're willing to hurt their own image to get you back over there emotionally involved with them and engaging with them. I have decided if I see something, it's only for research purposes, to come over here and let y'all know what my opinion is as to what we need to do. But I'm not engaging with that content. I'm not going to engage with the content. It doesn't make sense. I would never, just like you don't see Dusties coming on my channel. I don't invite Dusties to call into my channel. Oh, call in, show up, cam up. Let's go. Like, I'm not trying to sit up here and fight with no damn Dusty for what? What would I be gaining from that? We do not gain anything from that. And I'm having it, I'm wondering if y'all are really understanding who these people are. Because y'all are talking about them as though they are fully evolved human beings. Well, I don't understand why this man would say this and that man. They're not men. No son hombres. Let me try to say it in a different language. No son hombres. They're not men. I don't know what else I can do, but like we cannot sit up in here and talk with them as if they're rational, fully developed human beings who have some type of desire to learn and evolve and connect. That's not what they're trying to do. They are trying to collect more people for the harem. And the thing about being involved in the harem is that your emotions count too. So all the women who are going and windmilling in the comments and calling in, and when they challenge you, some of them, I won't say any names, but the struggle bandits, they literally pay actresses. I've been knowing that for months, because I remember months and months and months ago, I did a video about domestic violence a long time ago, maybe almost a year at this point in time. Maybe it was a year ago that I said that this guy was promoting domestic violence a long time ago. And I remember just kind of checking things out, and this guy was just sitting and begging women to call. Well, call in. He just begged. He begged for about 45 minutes. He just begged for women to call. Nobody will call. Nobody will call. And so then he had to just move on and close his show out because no women will call. So some of the women are, not self-preserving, they're self-destructive, and they do call in, but there are actresses calling in. They're paid actresses who signed NDAs to participate on that show. It's still treasonous. If you're black, I don't give a shit. Like, sometimes money ain't good money. And y'all know I love money. I do. I really do. I love money. I talk about money a lot on this channel, but I won't sell out my sisters for the money. There's no amount of money that this guy could be paying you to disparage the collective image of black women. For these actresses who are going on that show, signing these NDAs and participating in this public humiliation rituals. I don't care what you're getting, it's not enough, and it is treasonous. It's treasonous behavior for these women to do this. One of them is going to be brave enough at some point in time. One of them is going to be brave enough to come and admit that she was a paid actress. One of them is going to do it eventually. She's going to, I'm envisioning her busting the facade of what's going on over there. Because if you really think about it, this struggle bandit isn't saying anything that the other struggle bandits hadn't been saying. The only thing that he added to the mix was the public humiliation rituals that the other ones hadn't really thought about, doing. Whose number is this? I don't know. That's really all he added to the table. That's really all he added to the mix of what was going on over there, was just the public humiliation rituals. So black women are vital for participation over there, for that to continue, because other than that, This is my Chinese New Year gift. I forgot about this. Um, yeah. So the women who participate, who take the money to go over there, they're treasonous. And women who deny Black feminicide are treasonous, and we're not sisters. I love women. Y'all know that I really do. I love women. I stand for Black women. I'm willing to overlook a lot. I'm willing to work with you on a lot. I'm willing to be very forgiving. I'm willing to be very compassionate with Black women for the different things that they have going on. All of that, all of that. But if you deny Black femicide, you are not my sister. We are not, we're not family. Okay. So that is taking a hard stand uh, as to where you stand in the world. Like that to me just tells me everything I need to know. So now I know how to handle you accordingly. I know where to put you. I know how to categorize you. I know how to deal with you. Because we're not family, we're not sisters. There's no collective sisterhood. If you get up in the morning and you think to yourself, oh wow, how can I convince the world that nobody wants Black women and that Black women are so undesirable? If you get up in the morning and that's your mission, we're not family. We're not sisterhood, and there's no reason to intellectually engage with you because you are not of sound mind. That's self-destructive behavior. Self-destructive people are the hugest liabilities to have around you. If that's a mission, yeah, if Black women have a mission to convince the world that nobody wants Black women, what is wrong with you? Like I I I battle with myself and thinking, what does this woman want? Like what do women who convince the world that nobody wants Black women, what's in it for her? And I know the answer to the question. I think that the answer to the question is just so unfathomable to me that it's hard to wrap my mind around trying to understand that struggle bandit validation to her, to women like her, to women like this is everything. And they are willing to sacrifice their own self-image to please these underdeveloped males. And that getting a struggle bandit is not even the goal, because they could get one and ride off into the sunset. Their mission is to disparage Black women on their behalf. They are using themselves to be attack dogs because they're the ones clout chasing the big channels. You don't see me posting, oh, I'm adding this big channel, I'm adding that big channel. I barely even talk about content creators' names because I can stand on my own 2 feet. I don't have to try to grow off of some other channel's subscribers. They're the clout chasers that tag in women who do not even want to fuck with them, who are tagging in their name constantly. They're chasing those women's attention the way they're chasing the struggle bandits. You can't just come on and talk about your pick me lifestyle and just da 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 da. You can't just do that. No, you have to try to clout chase off of women who you say are undesirable, they're delusional, they ain't got nothing, ain't never gonna be nothing. But why are you tagging them though? Why are you screaming and begging for their attention? Look at me over here. If your information is so phenomenal and so groundbreaking, why can't you just talk about your information without I know why, because you want the attention and because the assignment is for you to get those women emotionally engaged with your content. That's the assignment. And if you can get them emotionally engaged with your content, then they're back in the harem, some way, shape, or fashion. Because again, I've talked about this a lot. They don't care whether you're arguing with them or if you are criticizing them or loving them. It's still attention. And what is the most difficult thing for them to understand is indifference and just not caring. And that is why you will see them on there begging. Well, I put the link, show up, cam up, call in. And they will just sit there and beg. I've seen them with my own two eyes. They'll sit there and beg for hours. It'll be like one rogue woman who seems to have some mental issues that will call in. And that's like their resident, supposedly a divester. And this, I don't know this lady outside of calling into the Pick Me channels. So who knows who this lady is? She really just represent herself. She don't represent nobody else. She represent herself. Ain't nobody else interested in that. And that's my big message to y'all. It's going to get worse. They know that femicide is an emotional topic for Black women who give a shit about Black women. They know that for those of us who dive into the stories and who deal with the stats and who know the plight of these women who are victims of violence, they know that it's an emotional trigger and they're going to go in for the kill. They will try to beat you to the white meat show. They will have no mercy in an attempt to get you emotionally engaged with their content, to show some way, shape, or form that you care about what they say. So this is the thing. You know that the sky is blue. We know that Black femicide is real. It doesn't matter how many hecklers are standing along the sidelines telling you that the sky is red and that there's no Black femicide. It's a figment of your imagination. It doesn't matter if it's 10 of them, 15, or a million. We know what is what. And this is going to be the test about how committed you are to your journey and how solidified you are in truly not caring what they say. Nobody on the face of the planet sits down at a boardroom and asks them for their opinion about anything. Nobody cares. This is the time to show and prove that we don't care. I'm not going to your struggle channel. I'm not going on your panel. I'm not replying to your things. You can tag me all you want to. I will be paying you dust. Paying you dust. And I'm going to come back to what I have going on in my own community with my community of like-minded women who give a shit about Black women. And we are going to continue to move forward without you. Do whatever y'all want to do over there. But they know it's a triggering point, and that's where they're going to go right in for. They're going to go right in for the trigger point. They're going to go for what they think will hurt you, that will make you emotionally react. And that's what they're going to attack you with. There's one channel with 100,000 women, and all the majority of the women who share stories about having children with Black men will tell you that their children's father is not involved. This is a sore point for Black women who are in that position, because it's hard, it's difficult, not to mention most people have near-death experiences around their birth. Most Black women do. About the medical experience that they felt. Let me just say this. the natural response of males who are connected to women who are having a difficult job or a difficult experience birthing children in the medical system, they would be working in that medical system to make things easier for their counterparts to bring life into the world. We don't have that. We are on our own to navigate this. Black women who are birthing inside the hospital systems in America. There's no outrage for them. They're like, have our babies. You better not talk about aborting my babies, but they're not even doing anything in the hospital to make it safer for you to have a baby. They're not even providing a good insurance plan. They want you to get on Medicaid because they ain't got no fucking jobs. They can't provide anything to a Black woman. They're not talking about providing health insurance. They're not talking about reforming the healthcare system. They're not talking about postpartum leave so that you can have time to breastfeed your child. They're not talking about getting the provisions for the child. They're just like, have our babies, have our babies, have our babies. How dare you abort us? Have our babies, and we're not going to do shit else. Like, okay, we get it. Like, you don't need to be a rocket science or a statistician to hear somebody say, I don't care about you. I don't love you. I don't value you. I don't respect you. I don't believe you. You're literally going into the hospital and having horrible outcomes, but I'm not going to do shit about it. I don't care about you. The only people that I've heard talking about this issue are other Black women. Well, there's one Black man in California whose wife passed away, that judge's son-in-law or son. That's the only Black man I've ever seen working on this issue. And I don't even know that he may be biracial. I don't know. I've only seen one Black man work on that issue. So you just sit up and you want to use Black women as inanimate objects to incubate your children without any provisions to be provided to do this. It is literal insanity. And again, it's very tempting to try to go down the rabbit hole of trying to unravel the logic and trying to present logical questions and trying to understand, but you will always end up frustrated and bumping your head against the wall because the nature of it is to be confusing. And the nature of it is to devalue you, make you feel like, to create scarcity. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants you. You have to stay committed to this struggle group. Nobody wants you. And they don't even care if it disparages them at the same time. They don't care. You work hard, you get educated, and they will say, oh, nobody cares about that. It doesn't matter. Ha ha ha, you have debt. No accountability. Because a lot of times people are going to school who don't have a lot of debt and stuff. It's because their dad paid for it. Their dad paid their way through college. I know that I date older men. And they'll tell, like, they're literally paying their kids' way through school. They feel like it's their duty to get their children through school. We didn't grow up with guys like that. So we had to get it however way we could. There's no compassion for Black women with debt. There's no celebration of Black women becoming more educated. Everything you do is a problem. And you can't even go in peace because they sit up and tag you into their shenanigans because they can't just live and go over there and just do whatever over there what they want to do. No, they have to tag you in to their shenanigans because they're so desperate for your attention. And their assignment is to please their pimps. So they have to try to recruit women into the fold. Yeah, Judge Hatchett's son. That's the only Black man I've ever heard talking, and he wasn't doing anything about it until he lost his wife. That's what I'm saying. So in other words, for him, it was very personal. There's no black man that just says in general, man, black women are having a hard time in the hospital system. Like, let's get together as brothers and fix it. No, they don't get together and fix shit. So what I was saying with the whole single motherhood denial, that black men are the best fathers in the world. Why is it that 90% of these guys on the struggle channels don't have fathers in their lives? And these are your kings. These are the ones who you admire. You say they're so thoughtful. You say they're the everything. They don't have dads in their lives. So where are the dads hiding? Where are they? They're in the home. And it's the 100,000 women on the other channel, and the majority of them have the same story. We do not know each other. We did not conspire together to come up with the same story of abandonment. But what I'm saying is that you and I know it's true, just like we know that the sky is blue. But since they know it's sensitive and it hurts, that's what they go. They're going for the jugular. They're trying to beat you to the white meat shows, trying to drag you by the hair back into the harem. They know it's a trigger point to deny something that is the reality of the majority of black women. Would you argue with someone in an insane asylum that's going to tell you the sky is not blue? Would you argue with them? Would you go to the insane asylum and argue with anybody who has been admitted as a patient about anything? If they tell you that they are a cat and they were also the president, would you sit up there and argue with them about it? Or would you just say, oh, that's, they're inside the insane asylum, so, whatever, it makes sense. So let me go ahead and, collect my check and get out of here. That's how you have to see these people. The arguments that they're putting forth are insane. So do they really warrant a debate? I would challenge you to do this, especially if you're a content creator. Think about how you can help your audience do something, achieve something, go somewhere, be something. Don't dedicate your time only dispelling insane arguments. We know the sky is blue. We know 2 plus 2 is 4. Maybe a little dash of it, okay, but it shouldn't be the main course of our life, because they win like that. If we're not leveling up and staying on mission and we're talking about decoding insane arguments, then they've taken us away from getting closer to what we're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? They're derailing us even if they're not around. If we could have been spending time talking about something productive, but we're arguing because some random bottom bitch pick me is talking about there's no such thing as father abandonment and father black men are in the home. You see, it's not worth arguing about that. Okay, sis. Well, since black men are in the home, then okay, great. Okay, fine. That's probably two things that narcissists and toxic people don't like to hear when they're spouting off saying, okay, fine. Black women are undesirable. Okay, fine. Oh, black women don't post any pictures about marrying non-black men. Okay, yeah, forget about these. I don't know, 100,000 Instagram interracial marriage. Okay, yeah, those don't exist. All right, fine. Okay, girl, I'm not fit to go back and forth with you. Okay, whatever you say is okay, fine. It's fine. And the craziest thing is like there's so I'm sure there are black women who are living in gated communities, living their best life, looking at this stuff like, wow, it's interesting that you say like nobody wants me, because I'm sure I'm enjoying my life in this gated community, driving my Mercedes by my non-black man. Very fascinating information. Yes. Yeah, it's called Gray Rock. Again, I guess I'll just refer people back, yeah, to the narcissistic. Maybe we can do a whole tactics thing. I know Dr. Romney has I think it's a library of terms. I think there's a library of term playlist over there that you can check out. But yeah, it goes over gray rock, no contact, low contact. Um, it goes over all of that. And it's key to understand in order to understand the collective of BMs, you have to understand narcissism, at least on a basic level. At least on a basic level. I think the most important thing, and this is just my how I interpret the information. So it's not what I've heard like actual professionals say. But for me, I think it's a developmental delay. I think it's a developmental disorder. I don't see it. It is a personality disorder, but it's also a developmental disorder. Most people that develop are who are high, who are exhibiting lots of narcissistic traits. They did not get what they needed to get when they were little kids developing, or they got too much of the wrong thing. So black males mostly got too much praise for having done nothing as small children and being worshipped for no reason. They're not taught to achieve or produce anything ever. And they're taught that being black and male is enough. And they're also taught that you get around through society through showcasing your victimhood. And that's how they behave. That's how they're raised. That's the pervasive culture. In order to achieve things in this world, you have to showcase your victimhood. So there's no like go out and grab it, fight, get it, achieve. No, that's not in their culture. Their culture is like be the biggest victim around. That's how you win in society, through victimhood and blaming others for everything and being praised for having done nothing, in addition to how they brutalize each other. Okay? Brutalize each other, abandoned by their fathers. And so here's the result: a bandit, a grown ass, irrelevant, like a useless bandit. Ain't no use to nobody nowhere with a microphone. Pretending that they want marriage, and then they rope in these attack dogs who are like, oh, an avatar got a bag off of them. Okay, let me go ahead and get in the game too to pimp these black women. I can be the best. I'll be the bottom B. I can do it better than her. So they squabble, amongst each other for who's the baddest B, who's the bottom B. And here we are today. They are just like members of white supremacy who try to derail black people from an agenda of improvement. When black women move towards their goal agenda, they act just like WPs. Stay on code, black women. Yeah. I think that they act like white supremacists all the time. I mean, it's really in them. And that's the interesting thing. Like when you're male identified, and there's some people who will probably relate to this, when you're in the black power movement, you become very male identified. So they talk a lot over there about like Willie Lynch being in you and you have to kill the white person in you and all of this kind of stuff. But really, this is black men talking about themselves. So as a black woman in the black power community, you say that stuff, you parrot that stuff because that's what people say. And it's very uh male worshiping over there. Um it's very male worshiping in the black power movement, or black nationalist movement or whatever. But really they're talking about themselves when they're talking about the white person in them, and you have to purge it. And because if you really like black women are so race loyal, black women love blackness, black women, you hear black women all the time talk about, oh, beautiful dark skin, like I like a dark skin, I want my baby to be dark. Black women don't have a problem with blackness. by and large. Yes, you have some colorist black women, it's not da 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 self-esteem issue. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, sure. But overall, black women appreciate blackness. So when they're talking about all that purge the white out of you, they were really talking about themselves. And there's this enmeshment when it comes to being black male identified. There's an enmeshment and there's a codependency happening to where black women cannot decipher and unravel her own self from that she adopted through the male worship of the black male. And that is a process to really, really get very clear about what is yours and what is theirs, and what is theirs and what is yours. When you are enmeshed and involved with black male worship, you can't tell the difference between the two. Is we sick balls? Is you sick ball? Is we sick balls? Is we cold? Is we hungry? That's how it is when you're black male worshiping. You don't know what the fuck is what you really are. You really hungry, or are you hungry, or do you need something? Are your needs being met? Because you look to someone else to tell you that your needs being met. You can be hungry, sick, destitute, and everything else, and they'll tell you that you're just fine. And we're telling you that we're getting taken out, there's all this violence, and they're telling you, no, 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 you're just fine. I'm scared to bring a child into this world because it's so violent. No, 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 you're not. You're not scared. You're just fine. There's a lineage of abandonment in my line. And so why would I want to commit myself to you when I know that my risk of being abandoned is higher? No, 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 it's not. You're just fine. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. They'll try to make you seem like you're crazy. The only crazy thing to do is to sit down and argue with someone that's inside of a sane asylum that's already been identified as crazy. You would have to opt into that craziness at that point in time. You'd have to opt into it. In trade. Oh, you might have to message me about that. I don't know what that is. Yeah, black men are the best fathers. They're in the home. And it could be like I promise, like random women I don't know. We don't know each other from Jane. Like I know women whose father was in their life, but they're like rare. And like, you know what I mean? And we have some content creators that come from good families, and that's a blessing. They are anomalies in the space because the majority of us living an everyday black life, we don't have that experience. For the ones who come from the two-parent homes, who went through the all the, and have the support of their fathers, that is an most of us don't have that. It could be some woman from across the country or whatever, and we'll see the same story. I was just watching a story in the UK the other day, a black woman raising 4 kids, struggling in London. I don't know. She don't know me. Where's the dad? Why is she struggling by herself? Where's the men? What about the men in the family? Why aren't they helping? What about these biracial kids running around the UK with no dads involved? What about all the biracial kids that's in the adoption centers through the woman of no color who chose to have the support of her family over? See, this is the thing about why those children end up over there. A lot of times, the woman of color, no color's family says, "Hey, I'm not going to support you," and the guy already abandoned her during the pregnancy, so she would be completely on her own. Her family is not going to support her, and the guy's gone. So she makes the decision to save herself, which most black women are not really. We're still very self-sacrificial. It's going to take us a lot more work to save ourselves, to be self-preserving, to make really, 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 really difficult decisions in order to stay alive. Women of no color can do it more easily. They're more entitled. They're more self-serving individuals. So yeah, they will take their children sometimes and say, "Hey, he left me. He abandoned me. I'm my back is against the wall. I can't do this. I'm going back to my family. I'm gonna start over again. Like this never happened. That's not our doing as Black women. That's not our doing. We don't have nothing to do with that. That's them doing their thing, leaving their mark. They leave their mark wherever they go. Asia, Europe, okay. Same thing. Same king. Same thing, same king. Okay. 72% of Black fathers have contact with the children once a week. So now you only need to spend time with the child once a week to raise a child. Well, I think that they mean a phone call counts too. If they call or text, that counts. Once I was talking to a struggle king, and he told me that he used to, I guess there's some Twitch or some type of video game playing system, and he would get onto the video game and like put the headset on and be playing video games with the child who lived in a different state, and he would do that every now and then, and he thought he was a great dad. So he's not calling in to the parent teacher conference. He's not sending any clothes, no money. The mom didn't have him on child support. I know he wasn't sending no money. I know that for a fact. He wasn't calling his son, and his son was going to be approaching puberty. He wasn't trying to go out there and help him, learn how to shave or do anything. He would log in every now and then to the video game, and that was it. He thought he was a great dad. That's how delusional they are. He thought he was doing a great job. I'm like, you're not. You're not. You're doing a really bad job, actually. Ignoring the daughter. The daughter wanted the stepdad's last name, and he was offended. And I told him, I said, well, it's really your fault. You're so inconsistent. And this man is consistently there. Why would she want a different name? Her mom, the guy proposed to the mama, and they about to get married. Why would she want the mama and him and any new children to have a name and her name be different, and you ain't even there? The audacity for you to have an attitude that you have abandoned this young woman, you haven't been there for you, because there's a time in a girl's life, and if you've had your father abandon you, you know the moment that you don't give a fuck anymore. After missed birthdays, missed recitals, not coming around, saying he gonna come, he don't come, telling you he gonna do something, he don't do it. You get to a point around 10, 11, and 12, you just don't care anymore. You don't care. And that little girl was past that point with him. She don't care no more. She don't want you bothering her. She has a father in her home. And no, she don't want your name. And you want to think about it as a disrespect because you don't have accountability. Keep in mind, I'm having a conversation with this struggle bandit. And I'm not even, like, I still have hope that I can get through. Because when you have sound mind, but you don't know who you're dealing with, you try to reason with them, and you're trying to pull at their heartstrings, and you're trying to advocate for the girl to them so that they can have compassion and empathy for the child. And then in addition to that, you give them a game plan. Listen, this is what you need to do to win your daughter back. I will give you the blueprint to win your daughter back. But if you try this, you have to remain consistent. And if you put in the work for the next 2 years, you can get your daughter back. There's a lot of women still in that place because they don't know who they're dealing with. They don't know who they're talking to. This man don't give a shit about nothing I'm saying. I might as well be saying wah, 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 wah. He don't care. He's telling me these things because he wants me to join his pity party. He wants me to get the balloons. He wants me to get the violin. He wants me to say, oh, I can't believe your baby mama did that to you. Oh, who she thinks she is. She gonna marry another man and take your baby name from you. I can't believe that. That's okay, Kane. Come lay your head on my shoulder. That's what you were looking for. If you was looking for that, you ain't gonna find that over here. I'm gonna tell you, you dead fucking wrong. And if I was her, I would do the same thing. You're not consistent. Why would she want your name? You are inconsistent. You don't provide for this child. You do not call her. You do not do for her. You're not sacrificing anything for this child. I don't care if the mama has remarried, you should still be providing for this child. And if you think you're going to find somewhere to lay your head down and somewhere to complain to, you will not find that with me. I ain't going to never tell you something that it ain't. Delusional pick-me's do. They will stroke your ego and they will lull you back in the gutter and keep you in the gutter. They can't love you. A bitch that'll sit up and let you be mediocre, she don't fucking love you. She don't. If she'll sit up here and tell you you ain't got to do nothing and blame everything on the baby mama and be, create this fantasy, oh, everything's okay. It's okay that you won't produce nothing. It's okay that you're inconsistent. It's okay that you abandon your family. Oh, it's all right. It's okay, Kang. You can't, that ain't love. That's toxic codependency. It's not love. Somebody that will co-sign your mediocrity, that's not love. And that's what they do over there. You know what? It's like if y'all gonna be teaming up with these shenanigans, I'm going to have to come up with different strategies to ice y'all MNFers out. Ice you out. Not ice with rocks, but just put you on ice. Put you on ice. Pay you dust because you dusty. That's it. And you cannot sit over here and give dissertations and whole PowerPoint presentations. We already did that like 5 years ago. And women before us did it too. We have given whole PowerPoint presentations about what we need. And you have resoundingly said, I will not give it to you. That person that you need me to be, I'm not willing to be him. I'm not going to mature. I'm not going to grow up. I'm not going to stop my shenanigans. I'm not going to take accountability. I'm going to remain a perpetual adolescent. We can see that. We can see the 50, 60-year-old man dressing like a 20-year-old man. There's no difference. Y'all think the same, act the same, don't never grow up. Okay. You know what? You got to get to a point where you say, if I sit over here and stay with this, then I'm just as dumb as you. If I sit over here and tolerate this, I'm just as dumb as you. If I say that this is not lining up with my moral code, this is not lining up with my idea of manhood, I have an idea of man. I have had an idea of manhood for a long time. And consistently it's not getting acknowledged. It's not, nobody's meeting up to what I believe manhood is. At some point in time, you got to come to that conclusion. We're finished here. It's like, is you finished or is you through? I'm both. I'm both, actually. I'm both. I'm finished and through. Okay. If you want to join this Discord, please send me a message on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram to gain access to the Discord. I'm about to post in the Discord today. I am about to post my message to a white man who was fishing for compliments and low value, blah, blah, blah. I will be putting that in the Discord so that the ladies over there. Now, let me give you a disclaimer before you seek access to the Discord. The Discord is for active daters. I don't have the capacity to run a general Discord right now. I just don't have the time. So I'm only engaging with active daters right now. And the ladies inside the Discord support each other, and I chime in when I can. So I just want to give you that disclaimer before you join. Okay. But yes, I have the exact language. This is the thing, side note, ladies, there's a lot of divested pick-me's that are flooding the market right now. So it's very tight right now. I believe that if they remain, like if they are very pick-me and male worshiping, I think that they will get bored and they will come back to the level up women and start spending money again. But Pickmes are taking coffee dates right now. Pickmes are meeting them at the park. Pickmes are meeting them wherever. Okay. So it's tight right now. But don't worry, keep your standards high. Keep your standards high, and things will, I think, level out eventually. But there's a whole slew of divested Pickmes that are bringing everything down right now. Okay. I probably turned down like 30 dates. Seriously. Like low ball offers. I just can't. But I know there's a pick me somewhere who will. So they need to go and they need to get that pick me out of their system and they'll be back. Keep your standards high. They'll be back. Yeah. For your mental health, do not argue with them. Don't. It doesn't just keep in mind, okay, this is a strategy, okay? They're going to I'm letting you know now it's going to get worse. They're also taking our images, like every single female, low bottom B female that took that young girl Lauren Smith Fields picture, that beautiful woman, may she rest and reign in peace. Every single person who took her picture and used it for nefarious purposes to promote a nefarious agenda. I have some words that I won't share on this live, but there's stuff happening around that spiritually and energetically. But for those who have showed compassion for someone who offed a black woman and the Asian woman who was pregnant, who showed compassion for him, but who showed no compassion for Lauren Smith Fields, a young woman who is deserving of protection of the collective community, who did nothing wrong, and have no compassion for her, but have compassion for a murderous struggle bandit. We are not family at that point in time. Those are grounds for me to completely disown you and to completely whatever, and you're completely on your own. I don't have no compassion for you. I don't feel nothing for you. You cannot sit with me. Don't call me. I wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire, because you have drawn your line in the sand. Because that is egregious and it's unacceptable. Y'all don't care nothing about level up. Some women don't even care nothing about level up, don't even be over here doing nothing that we're doing, don't know nothing about nothing. And you're sitting up and the crazy, y'all gonna, I don't know how many stories. It was literally a 2 paragraph sentence written on this lady at the time. No information was even out. And they just made up stories about everything that happened to her. And now you have all this concern when you have women who are dedicated to sharing in-depth stories about violence against Black women, and you can't pick up not nary one of them and talk about that. And you're going to ignore all these hundreds of women they post 2-3 times a day about different women and little girls experiencing violence. You don't see none of those stories. And you're going to sift through all of that and pick out Lauren and focus on Lauren. That's disgusting. We are not family. We are not friends. I do not have respect for anybody to do that. And I would not, like, the only way I would ever talk to them is if they paid me. That's it. I would not talk to them for free. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Never talk to them for free. You can apply through my Cash App for me to acknowledge you. That's it. Anyway, ladies, It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's kind of a good thing that it's worse because it's a compounding effect at this point of our effectiveness. It's a compound effect of our effectiveness of leveling up women and also younger women getting the information, um, younger women getting the information earlier and women who are coming into their womanhood already into this information. That's one thing that's the bottom Bs are trying to do. And they're like, oh, you want women to wait and live their best life and then get married down the line? Oh, and not get married at 21. So the older bottom Bs are trying to convince young Black women to commit themselves or actually to become baby mamas of the struggle bandits at an early age. Because, of course, the struggle bandits are not going to marry them. They're not going to marry them. But they want to encourage the young Black women to commit themselves to struggle relationships earlier. So they're going to be the age shaming and, oh, you want to run through the community and sleep with, low tier guys, and you guys are all sharing the same peen. You hope quiet as it's kept. Okay, them bees sharing the same peen too. But y'all sharing the same ping, y'all keep rotating the same minority of bad Black men, and you want to, fool la la and go to school and then get married later down the line. And by later, they mean like 20, after 25 is geriatric to them. So one thing that's really got them riled up is the fact that young Black women are not fooling with them. I see them on social media, not even on YouTube. I'm in other spaces. I'm quiet. I be minding my business. I be creating my accounts and I keep to myself. Okay. And I see the young girls, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Don't F with them. They be like, ooh, they watching Sin G. They watching this person. They watching that person. They already know what's up. These young ladies know what's up. That infuriates them. And at this point, they're like, uh-oh, you mean we're not going to have a whole nother generation of women to exploit and put on the stroll? So then now they're going to turn everything up because it was a minority, but now the information is sharing. Um, I'm not okay. I'll say this: it's being shared more, and now there's a compound effect. And you have a generation of women who are being born into it already. So it's not like they grow up in mammyism and they need to be deprogrammed. They're just coming into their womanhood knowing that they have options. They're coming into their womanhood knowing that you need to figure out a way to preserve your life. You need to figure out a way to, seek happiness and go where you're loved and go where you're honored and go where you're appreciated. And they're coming into that. That's scary for them. Like, how many generations have we been self-sacrificial? So I say that in a way to warn you that it's going to get worse. It's going to get more outrageous, more violent, um, more relentless. So it's important to keep your eye on what you're doing. Keep your energy focused towards leveling up, securing yourself, and staying safe. That's what we have to be focused on. I think we need to be talking about politics. We need to be talking about what kind of bills can protect us. We need to be talking about creating our own documentaries. We need to be identifying politicians that align with our values. We need to be identifying directors and producers and film companies that could get behind a Black femicide docu-series or documentary. We need to be focusing on the things that we have in common. the things that bring us together, our collective values, our collective goals. Those are the things that we really need to be focusing on right now and gaining momentum and gaining strength within ourselves. Utilizing whatever, if hey, you know what? I'm not saying ignore a threat. If there's a threat, report it. I would say I would say explore everything to the fullest extent of the law. Okay? Protect yourself and do whatever. If they step out of line and it's more than, just trolling and it becomes harassment, it becomes a threat, then follow everything to the fullest extent of the law or whatever platform you're on. Report it. But if it's just someone saying, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, look at me, ooh, 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 come to my channel, ooh, 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 come over here, pay attention to me, ooh, ooh, ooh," like that's the kind of stuff we can ignore. Obviously, we can't ignore threats, but we can't ignore the ooh, 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 look at me. We can ignore that. Daisy, you're probably ready, girl. You're probably ready. You are probably ready. So thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are wonderful. Y'all are amazing. We'll talk soon. If you haven't, um, if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. It helps out a lot. And turn on your notification bell, like the content, share it with someone who would be helpful to. And we'll talk soon. Peace.